Hello, my loves. Happy Friday. Today we're going to subtract fractions. So you're going to show that you can add and subtract fractions, including mixed numbers, with unlike denominators using equivalent fractions. So we're going to find common denominators, and then we're going to subtract the numerators and copy the denominator. So it's just like when we're adding fractions. And then we're going to reduce to lowest terms. All right, here's our objective. We can subtract fractions. Our essential question, how can you subtract fractions with unlike denominators? Our lead measures, we're going to talk about that lowest common denominator. And then we've got some Mega Math fraction flare-up, and we're going to practice subtracting fractions using IXL. And then, of course, don't forget, you've got those teacher-assigned lessons that are due and your 50 minutes that are due. Please do more than 50 minutes. When we subtract fractions, we need to have a common denominator. And then we subtract the numerators, copy the denominator, and reduce to lowest terms. Let's do some practice problems. Now, I left out a little step in there for a couple of problems, and I want you to see if you know what that step is. So, or what those steps are. I'm going to do 7 minus 3 sevenths. Okay, let's look at step 1. Find a common denominator. All right, what's a common denominator between 7 and... I don't have a denominator. What step do I need to remember to do? I need to remember to turn whole numbers into fractions. Yes. I need to turn this whole number, there we go. Now it's a fraction. So now that I have two fractions, I can find that common denominator. And one simple way would be to multiply the denominators together. So my new fraction will be sevenths. Now, how do I turn this fraction of 7 wholes into sevenths? Now let's think about that. If I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, I have 7 pizzas, right? 7 whole pizzas. But I want to cut those pizzas into sevenths. So this pizza is going to have 7 sevenths. And this one will have 7 sevenths. And this one has 7 sevenths, 7 sevenths, 7 sevenths, 7 sevenths, and 7 sevenths. Right? So if I have 7 pizzas and each pizza has 7 slices, then I'm basically doing 7 times 7. And what is 7 times 7? 7 times 7 is 49. So these 7 pizzas are 49 pizzas. And how I can say that is, how do I jump from 1 to 7? I did multiply by 7. And if I multiply my denominator, I have to do the same to my numerator. And that's where I got my 49. All right. Now, this other one, we already have sevenths as our denominator, so we don't need to change anything at all. Now, step 2, subtract the numerators. 49 minus 3. Well, I know that 9 minus 3 is 6, so 49 minus 3 would be 46. And do I subtract 7 from 7? Let me look at my step 3. No, I don't subtract those. Because if I had 1 apple and 1 apple, and if I'm subtracting them, don't I still have apples? Well, I guess not. Let's make it 11. If I have 11 apples and I take away 1 apple, then I have 10 apples. I still have apples, just like I still have sevenths. So my answer is 46 sevenths, but I'm not done yet because I still have to reduce to lowest terms. And you can see here, this is a division problem. 46 divided by 7. Ooh, I know my 7 times tables. I know that 6 times 7 is 42. And when I subtract, I have 4. So 6 and 4 sevenths is my answer because I cannot reduce 4 sevenths. That's in lowest terms. Let's do another problem. Get your paper and pencil ready. And let's do 1 7/8 minus 1/4. All right, step 1, find a common denominator. We're missing a step. What step do I need to do first? I need to turn the mixed number into a fraction. Into only a fraction, right? Because the mixed number has a whole number and a fraction. So I have a whole number here, which is 1. It's 1 pizza. And over here, I have, I'm just going to cut out a little piece. Over here, I have 7/8 of a pizza. So if I have 7/8 of a pizza there and 1 whole pizza here, and I want to combine them, I'm going to combine them with eighths. How many eighths are in here? There's going to be 8/8, right? So 8/8 plus 7/8 is going to be 15/8. So 1 whole pizza plus 7/8 of a pizza equals 15/8. Now, how do we do that little shortcut? We multiply. 8 times 1 is 8. There it is right there. And then 8 plus 7 is 15. So we have 15/8 minus 1/4. All right, now we're ready to find that common denominator. Now, remember before, one easy way is to just multiply them together and we'd get 32. So let's go ahead and do that. And I'm going to make this 32 and this 32. How do I jump from 8 to 32? Multiplied by 4, which means I have to do 15 times 4. And I'll do it right over here. 4 times 5 is 20, 4, and it's going to be 60 over 32. And I'm subtracting. Now, how do I jump from 4 to 32? I have to multiply by 8. And then this one goes by 8. Oh, okay, now I can do it. 60 minus 8. This becomes a 5. This is a 10. 52. So the answer is 52 over 32. And now I have to go ahead and do a division problem that says 52 divided by 32. And I've got some big numbers to divide. But you know what? I don't have to do all of that. I'm going to get rid of this guy, get rid of you, get rid of you, get rid of you. I'm going to make my life easy. I'm going to make my life easy. Okay. Woo, much better. Take a look at the 8 and the 4. Don't they have something in common? If I took this 1/4, I'm going to cut this, here's my 1/4, right? Can I turn that 1/4 into eighths? Watch this. Look at that, I have 2/8. 1/4 equals 2/8, it's equivalent. So let me turn these fractions into eighths. This, I don't have to change anything, do I? It stays at 15. But now I have to jump from this 4 to 8. And I just multiply by 2 there, huh? 1 times 2 is 2. Look how easier. When we look for that lowest common denominator, which would be 8. I mean, we could definitely do 32. We could also do 16 if we wanted to. But by doing the lowest, by giving it a little thought first, we can save some time and we could do some easy math. 15 minus 2, 15, 14, 13. It's 13/8. And now I can do some simple division. 13 divided by 8. Well, I know it's going to be 1, right? 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. That's 5 left over. The answer is 1 5/8. Look how easy that division was because I found that lowest common denominator. All right, let's do some practice. Here we go. Let's do 2 2/3 minus 1 2/5. Pause your video and let's see what you could do. All right, your first step would have been to turn these into fractions, right? 3 times 2 is 6, plus 2 would be 8/3, minus 5 times 1 is 5, plus 2, 7/5. Now I'm ready to find that common denominator. And here is an opportunity where I would have to multiply them together because I really need a common denominator. And it just so happens that 15 is the lowest common denominator. Now, how do I jump from 3 to 15? I multiply by 5. Multiply by 5. So I have 40. How do I jump from 5 to 15? Multiply by 3. Multiply by 3, and I've got 21. Well, now I just simply subtract 40 minus 21. 10 minus 1 is 9. I've got 19. 40 minus 21 equals 19/15. Is that in lowest terms? Nope, I can still go smaller. So I do 19 divided by 15, and I know that's going to be 1. And when I subtract, I have 4 left over, 1 4/15. 1 4/15. And that, my friends, is in lowest terms because 4 can only be divided by 2 or 4. And I can't divide 15 by 2 or by 4. So that is the answer. I hope you got that answer. And I hope you did all of this wonderful work on paper. Okay, let's see. No, I didn't do this one yet. Let's do 5 1/9 minus 3 5/6. Pause your video and let's see what answer you get. Okay. So first we need to turn these into fractions, and 5 times 9 is 45. So that makes it 46 over 9. And 6 times 3 is 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23. That's 23 over 6. Can I subtract? Nope, not yet. I cannot subtract yet. But you know what? This is a good opportunity for us to think about that lowest common denominator. Because I could multiply these together and I would get 54. But then I'm talking some big numbers because then I have to multiply 46 times 6 and I have to multiply 23 times 9. We're talking big numbers. Let me think about 9 and 6. What can I find that they have in common? Well, let's think about 9 and 6. 9 times 1 is 9, and 6 times 1 is 6. 9 times 2 is 18, and 6 times 2 is 12. 9 times 3 is 27, and 6 times 3 is 18. Look. Remember that factoring you did last year? This is a good opportunity for it. The lowest common denominator is going to be 18. So let's jump from 9 to 18. How do I do that? Times 2. And then I do this one times 2. Oh, that's so much easier. 2 times 6 is 12. 8, and we've got 92. Now, how do I go from 6 to 18? Times 3. So it's 23 times 3. I'd rather multiply that by 3 than by 9, that's for sure. 23 times 3. 9 and 6. Now that I have a common denominator, check, I just need to subtract the numerators. we've got, I'll do it over here, 92 minus 69. I cannot subtract 9 from 2, so I need to go to my neighbor and knock on the door. Can I borrow 10? And they say, sure, I've got 9 tens. Here you go. And now they only have 8. But I have $2 in my pocket. And my neighbor just gave me $10. So now I have 12. So let's see how many we have. 9, 10, 11, 12. That's 3. And 2. So my answer is going to be 23/18. Is that in lowest terms? No. So let's divide 23 divided by 18. We know it's going to be 1 because 18 and 18, that's going to be quite a lot more than 23, right? That's going to be 36. And when we subtract, I can't subtract here. I need to regroup. That becomes a 1, and this is now 13. 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. The answer is 5 and 0. So 1 and 5/18. Is that in lowest terms? Let's see. 5 can be divided by 5. Can 18 be divided by 5? Nope. So my answer of 5 and 1/9 times 3 and 5/6 is 1 and 5/18. Is that the answer you got? I hope so. All right, let me clear my board. Okay, here we are at Friday. And for subtracting fractions, we're going to go to Mega Math, Fraction Flare Up, and Mega Math, or Level H and Level J. Now, I did not put an IXL on that, but that doesn't mean that you can't go to IXL. Definitely go to IXL if you have time. Make sure you get that iReady. That is super, super important. And remember, I'm not giving you guys specific reminders anymore. I'm not going to email you and your parents on Friday night and tell you that you did not finish your iReady yet or your Studies Weekly. And then I'm not going to do it again on Sunday because I send you guys emails on Friday and I do it again on Sunday morning to give you one last chance to get it done. And you know what? It's time for you to be 6th graders. So I'm going to start treating you like 6th graders. I'm sending these reminders every single day. Every single day. Don't you get a reminder that says do that iReady? It's right here. And then don't I tell you to do iReady? Yes, every day. So you need to take that responsibility. Also, another way that I remind you, because I love you so much, is I send you those checklists. Those distance learning newsletters and checklists. Check, 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 check. All of your checklists, and they're all up here. Look, even the old ones, they're all there. I do it for you every week. So please make sure that you're using these tools to help you. And if you use them now and get into that good habit, you will have that habit in 6th grade, and that's really going to help you when it counts. Because you do not have Miss Lovey-Dovey email you all the time, Miss Allison in 6th grade. You're going to have 8 different teachers. And they will tell you on Monday that something's due on Friday, and they might not tell you ever again. You have to remember it, you have to write it down, and you have to know what your expectations are, okay? So my expectations for you, to make sure you've got your iReady done so I can give you those 100%. Make sure that you've got your Studies Weekly done, okay? And have a wonderful weekend, all right? I love you guys. Bye.